This is the Fifth Estate winning headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 5th of August, 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Star, no one will be left out in census. KNBS boss.
Yes.
The Standard, why did they burn my son? And Daily Nation, their chances, spoilers or contenders. Let's start with the Standard.
Yes.
The
court story
has come to a fiery end.
Absolutely. Do you guys think she was betrayed by her children?
Who? Okay, what's the context here?
Okay, before we start ascribing blame.
Let me give a context.
Kindly.
Ken Okoth's mother was very disappointed that her son was cremated at 3 a.m. When people were busy asleep. They were busy sleeping.
You know that darkness connotation in Africans is not very nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. And she tried to get a hold of 2 MPs, that's what the Standard says, to stop the cremation.
From happening,
but even these guys don't have the power to stop it. Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, those were his wishes, right?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, as he knew he was going to pass, he said, I'd like to be cremated.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, of course, his mother, she does have rights, but they're more emotional rights than they are legal ones.
It's her child at the end of the day.
You guys, you do remember that we have said it over and over again that Luo burial rights, this is not the first time that they've come onto the national sphere. And there were court cases burying one from the other, and 3 options. Do we bury her at the mothers? Do we bury him at the mothers? The fathers? Do we cremate him? But all I have to say again, and I come back to this again, the person who's lost out in all of this is the child. Because once you cremate a person, there goes your DNA evidence.
Absolutely.
How will you prove paternity?
Absolutely. Unless they say there is a will for this child. And
which is what we've heard there is,
we've heard there's a will. But then what is striking is they have said that they're going to get a banana plant and it will be the symbol of a grave. And they will bury the banana plant or something like that.
I mean, that's interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do with that information.
We have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down headlines for you. We ask ourselves 3 questions. Is this headline topical or is it speculative? Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? I think it just brings to an end a saga that has kept our national mind and attention.
Yes.
But I don't think it's a good headline. And I think...
Well, it's short
and snappy. I think still out of respect, I think we...
Absolutely.
But it is not the winning headline.
Yeah.
No one will be left out in census. KNBS boss.
I mean...
There was honestly no news over the weekend, so the Star is really, really reaching. Because when you read the story, they just reaffirm the fact that a census will be happening. That whether you are a Kenyan... whether you're a Kenyan or an immigrant, you will be counted. That you have to answer questions regarding your sex, age, ethnicity, nationality. They're just reaffirming what we already know is going to happen.
I feel like that's not a story. That's an obvious fact.
It's going to happen.
It's happening. We know that.
So it's going to happen.
Useless.
It's like saying the rains are coming.
Finally, Daily Nation, their chances, spoilers or contenders. The race for 2022 is on. I feel like it's early.
It is early.
I think it's early, but you never know. But also, I want to say something.
Okay, wait, let's give context. So there are, how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8
apparent contenders for the throne in 2022. Among them including, of course, Deputy President William Ruto, Raila Odinga, and new entrants, Wycliffe Oparanya, Mukisa Kitui, Gideon Moi, Fred Matiang'i, and Kalonzo Musyoka, and finally Musalia Mudavadi.
If you ask me, Matiang'i for president 2022, if he could run this country the way he runs his ministries, we'd be thriving.
And then we'll stop betting.
Yes.
All hopefulness aside, countries are very different to run from ministries. There are certain things that are tried and true and tested, and each president, no matter how hopeful, talk to Barack Obama, you will see that the drudgery of the bureaucracy will slow you down in your tracks.
But this should be a warning to Deputy President William Ruto.
What?
This constellation. All right, and he might find himself competing for a position that may not exist in 2022.
Ongeza mzigo. So I don't know why they can't be a bigger coalition.
If you ongeza mzigo, he can be sure he will be played.
I will say I do like the headline.
Yeah.
I think that it's really snappy, it's to the point, their chances.
Yes.
That's it.
And knowing our political nature, it's clickbait. This make any Kenyan want to buy this paper.
Yes.
However, what I will say that a lot of the headlines missed this morning is this Ojwang's story.
Absolutely. Was there a need to take him
through the mud?
Yes, and if there was a need, then it tells you there's a scheme.
Well, today in the upper thirds of the Daily Nation, there's a story that Supreme Court Judge Ojwang has been cleared of all graft charges and allegations. In fact, they're not charges; they're allegations.
Yes.
Yeah. The tribunal set up for his to investigate the accusations against him. Released a report, gave it to the president, and in that report, they cleared him of all the allegations made against him on the issuing of a judgment in favor of Okoth-Obado. And of the having a road
that leads to his house.
Leading
near his house.
I have never heard
to his house.
of such ridiculous charges.
It is such a ridiculous story. And I think the most upsetting thing is the fact that he was attacked and lambasted on both ends.
Absolutely.
The media dragged him through the mud.
He was headlined.
Day after day after day, only for him to be absolved, and instead of now giving him an equally, giving him a headline that he deserves, they give him an upper third.
Absolutely.
Other headlines newspapers didn't even talk about it.
We've said this in the past, and what I want to question is the JSC. For if you knew that those charges against him did not hold past muster,
were flimsy,
what was the point of having a whole tribunal set up? What was the point of all of that? Going through all that mud, why not let a prestigious judicial officer just resign, or rather retire in his due course?
And not even that. There is someone within the JSC who's facing much more serious charges than a road going to someone's home. If the JSC was very serious on that, then they should have instituted a tribunal for that person.
Yeah.
That tells you there's politics.
That's true.
Yeah.
I say we toss this headline.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we have no winning headline. On to our next segment, the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the cartoons for you. Today there are no cartoons. I'm just going to make it in statement.
Let's front load that information, but we'll go through them anyway.
But we ask ourselves 3 questions anyway. Is this cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy? Let's begin with Iga.
Iga, he went to Standard 3 textbook and he cut it and then he pasted it.
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's a low blow.
It's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
Okay, let's describe the cartoon.
It's a drawing of children playing.
No, not playing.
Okay, it's a playground.
They're on a playground and they're all on their phones, and the swings are empty.
So he's trying to make a social commentary on the fact that kids are now glued to their phone screens, even though they're on holiday.
Yes.
Boring. Very boring.
Very, very boring. This is beyond just plain lazy.
I do say that the issue is real, but the representation
terrible.
Lazy.
Let's talk about Boris, guys.
Kado.
Wow.
I have no comment on said cartoon.
I do not know how he got away with publishing this.
I withdraw myself.
This is I love it, by the way.
I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, let's describe what we're seeing.
I wish you the best.
It's an ass. The donkey.
It is a donkey.
It is a donkey.
The donkey. That's what I mean. What do you guys think I meant?
It is you did not.
All right.
And then the saddle on the donkey is meant to be a horse. Is the
Union Jack.
The Union Jack. All right.
Yes.
And on the back of the donkey is
strategically
Boris Johnson's face.
Yes. And next to the donkey is what?
Some feces.
Yes.
That seem to have been coming out of Boris Johnson's mouth. Yeah.
Yes, which is fixed where?
On the
Donkey's
anyway,
back.
So the caption says
you can see.
The caption says Boris issues his Africa policy, and I think this is also in context because he had said that the UK should recolonize Africa.
Yes, he had.
He said the best fate for Africa would be if the old colonial powers or their citizens scrambled once again in her direction, on the understanding that this time they will not be asked to feel guilty.
And it also referred to Africa as a singular country.
Yeah, I think it's in bad taste.
It's in bad taste.
I cannot.
All right.
Finally.
Caricature of Ferdinand Waitito, Kiambu governor, and the seat of governor is stuck on his back, and he says, "I work best outside anyway." And the caption there is Waititu back in office.
This is so terrible. It's so terrible. The only reason he has Waititu back in office is because the chair is affixed to his back. I mean, it's not
such a bad cartoon, guys.
It's terrible. It's a pun. Okay. This is a terrible pun.
Okay, before you criticize, let me give you context.
Okay.
Governor Waititu on Saturday went to inspect projects in Kiambu.
Yes.
And then he said he will chair a meeting at a location of his choice because he's still governor. Now, there is a court ruling that I think Nyoro is using to say that the governor is not allowed to carry out his duties, and therefore he's a substantive governor. I think I like this cartoon.
Really?
He can work from anywhere. And I told you guys, all he has to do is go and set up an office on top of Joyland.
2M, this is what I want to disagree with you on. You like the story, but you don't like the cartoon.
Who says?
The story is great.
How do you know
the way you're describing it, I love the story. But when I look at this cartoon, this is rubbish.
The problem with the cartoon, I think, is the pun. He overanalyzed
overanalyzes. Oh my goodness, Ozone. Sorry.
Again, we have no winning cartoon.
Slow news day.
Very slow news day. What is our final thought this week?
And now, our final thought. Inspired by a book entitled The Richest Man in Babylon by George Samuel Clayson.
We're going to go with Clayson because we're not so sure.
Yeah,
Can you pronounce your name?
No.
There we go. So as you said, yes, The Richest Man in Babylon is a classic written in 1926, so it's almost 100 years old.
Yes.
And this book is often called the Bible of Financial Freedom. So in this book, Clayson's goal is to provide insight to those who are ambitious for financial success.
Right.
So through a series of short stories set in Babylon, the book teaches straightforward lessons that aim to show the secrets of acquiring wealth, of wealth building, that are unchanging and remain applicable throughout history.
Yes.
So the common theme in this book is that a person can work hard, learn from their mistakes, and become wealthy. Yeah. So the story is set in Babylon 8,000 years ago, which was known as the wealthiest city in the world. Yes. And this was because of its rich citizens who appreciated the value of money.
Yes.
So they practiced sound financial principles in acquiring money, keeping money, and making their money earn more money.
For them.
For them, exactly. Making their money work for them.
Yeah.
So this provided income streams for the future. So he always talks about how you have an income for your children, an income for your future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So despite all of these things, it's really interesting because Babylonia, 8,000 years ago, was a very arid place. Yeah. It had very few natural resources. Yeah. And despite all of this, the people managed to have a lot of success.
Yeah. And they also managed to have a wonder of the world. They have the hanging gardens of Babylon.
Oh, I didn't know that. So in the book, he says that Babylon is an outstanding example of man's ability to achieve great objectives using whatever means are at his disposal.
Yes.
So the lessons in this book come from the character Bansir, who couldn't seem to get ahead in life. Yeah. He owed people a lot of money, he didn't feel motivated, and he constantly felt that his money would leave him as soon as it got to him. So Bansir and his friends go to meet the richest man in Babylon. His name is Akkad, who teaches them the success to building wealth with his 7 rules for the skinny wallet. What do you call
it? Lean purse.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have to give you the story of Akkad, because Akkad himself said that as he told them the story, I didn't start out having money.
Yes. Yeah.
And they went out, 2 sets of people, actually they said 3 sets of people left Akkad as he finished his story.
Yes.
1 set of people was skeptical. They said that, you know what, he's a lucky guy, he happened to be at the right place at the right time, he made the money, he went. The second set of people was sarcastic.
Yes.
These people felt like, you know what, this guy just lied to us. He's rich, he's going to remain rich. Of course, he didn't tell us how to make the money. And then the third set of people are the ones that came back to Akkad and who actually learned the principles.
Absolutely.
Because Akkad himself said that he was a student of a money lender who he once met.
Yes.
And that money lender is the one who taught him what those 7 principles are. And they are, number 1, I will tell you as they are in the Old English of the book.
Yes.
But also simplify them in our language.
Yes.
Start thy purse to fattening. It's a very simple thing. What he's saying is save money. Specifically in the book, he says not less than a tenth of what you earn. So you can earn more, you can save more,
but
minimum. The minimum amount you should save is a tenth of what you earn. So 10%.
Right.
Same as tithe, if at all you are a Bible-believing Christian. Number 2, make thy gold multiply.
Yes.
So that's invest wisely.
Yes.
Number 3, guard thy treasure from loss.
Yes.
That's avoid investments that sound too good to be true.
Yes.
Also, that also means that you should get only advice from people who can give you that advice.
Yes.
When Akkad began,
absolutely,
he saved the money. Then he gave a brickmaker money to go and buy him jewels.
Yes.
Now, when the old money lender came, he asked him, "Did you save?" "Yes." "Where is the money?" "Oh, I gave it to the brickmaker so that he could get me some jewels, which I will then sell and make more money." That sounds like every Kenyan's dream. So we go getting advice from people who know nothing about something.
Absolutely.
To get that money.
Yes.
And the guy told him, "Oh, it's good to learn.
Yeah.
The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose your money.
Yes.
Next thing, now you learn how to get advice on jewels from jewel merchants.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, control thy expenditure. So don't spend more than you need.
Yes.
Wow.
Number 5, make thy dwelling a profitable investment. And every Kenyan believes in this one. Own your home.
Yes.
Number 6, ensure a future income. So that's protect yourself with life insurance or insurance packages, because sometimes life happens.
Yes, absolutely.
The Great Depression could happen.
Yes.
How do you protect yourself and your money and ensure that you still have what you started with? You can take it back when you want it. And finally, number 7, improve thy ability to earn. So strive to become wise and more knowledgeable on how to make more money.
This sounds like a book my mother would give me. Because she knows I'm not very good with money.
That's your mother who knows. And no comment.
Yes. But my takeaway is what you've said. And he says that you will lose money if you let greed cloud your judgment. And he speaks about the small progression, incremental of making money. You earn it in small doses. Don't go for rewards, for windfalls. Someone tells you, "Oh, if you invest $1 million bob right now, you will get 3 million." You know, it's
those get rich quick schemes.
Yes, more often than not, it's a scam. And he says it. I'll quote him. He says, "Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own experience and romantic desires in investment." But with that said, I think this is also a very safe book. Safe. Okay. Because he tells us to live below our means.
Yes.
Now, I'm a great believer of fake it until you make it.
Oh, really?
This is why your mother gave you this book.
Yes. You see,
this is why.
This is a Bible on behaving well with money. Okay? I want to suggest that there are people who have made money out of not following these rules. And I'm not saying that I am saying know the rules, but know the rules well enough to break them, so that in case you go
left, you know how far you can go.
You know how well you can come back to right. And the reason I'm saying this is because of this. If you have, and it's telling us not to take up debt, how have people in this country made it out? How the big banks in Kenya, right? Because Equity Bank was not made out of savings. Someone was given a loan by someone else who owned a bank to start his bank. That is how Nairobi has been made, by giving out loans and that.
But how many of those people, have made it? There are very few people.
No, there are very many people.
They're not that many. If you think about the population of Kenya, I think that this book is the rule, and the people you're talking about are the exception. And I think it's important to make that distinction. Because if we're to give people sound advice, maybe sound advice sometimes is just to be safe, right? Like I've said, Ms. K and I have agreed, starting tomorrow, I'm putting away my 10%.
Okay. We're paying ourselves first.
I'm paying myself first.
I am not saying even me, I'm going to do that.
Shoestring budget living Kenyans, I'm telling you, to them today, I feel like you're a representation of Kenyans and who we truly are.
That bad behavior that we cannot escape.
It's not bad behavior, guys.
Wait.
Do you know when this guy was writing this book, it was 1926. He wrote it before the Great Depression. Do you know what caused the Great Depression?
Saving.
The value of assets that people had saved. The savings. They lost value.
But not because of the bad principles of the people
if you tell everybody in an economy to save, what you're telling people is people should not consume. And therefore, for us to go and get salaries and that kind of thing, people will lose jobs.
Nowhere here does it say you need a job to make money. Let us go back to the principles. And here's the thing that I have. The problem I have with us Kenyans, me included, is that we really want to get rich. And I'm telling you, this book is a favorite amongst many Kenyans.
Yes.
However, there are not that many Kenyans living out there, dressing well, living well within their means, and having these principles or expounding them. And this is my problem. I feel like we took a left somewhere there and landed in get rich quick schemes. And it doesn't matter whether you're male, female.
Absolutely.
You took a left into gambling, multi-level marketing,
payday loans,
Fuliza, and Ponzi schemes.
Yes.
And that is where we lose our money. We make unsound investments, though we really would like to make sound investments. And I think we don't live these principles as we should, and that is what they are, principles.
Oh, they're preach, amen.
So are you convinced?
Somewhat, but
will we stop this business of living hand to mouth, salary to salary each month? By the end of the month, you have a loan in Fuliza, you have a loan from Mshwari, one from M-Pesa, one from KCB.
Yes. Are you talking to me or Kenyans?
Kenyans, myself included. Did I not say? I'm
all right, guys.
But let's wrap it up. These are principles.
Absolutely.
This is Winning Headlines. This week, we're trying to take you through, I don't know, wise money choices, speaking about whether or not we can get rich and looking at the principles that we can use to get rich. Today we start with the richest man in Babylon. Today we have no winning headline, no winning cartoon, and we don't know what the week portends for us.
Absolutely.
But we will start saving.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm saving. 10%, you said?
Yes.
10%.
Yes. Have a great week. See you tomorrow.